In Italy, coffee is not rushed, oversized, or taken to go. It's a small, meaningful moment woven into everyday life.
We're here to show you how Italians drink their coffee. They're not rules, they're just tips so that you can blend in like a local.
So let's dive in and do coffee the Italian way.
How do Italians actually drink their coffee? Well, usually it's at the bar. Now let's clear this out. Bar in Italy is not about nightlife and cocktails.
Exactly. So a bar is what you guys would call a cafe. Now we Italians love coming here. We come here for our morning coffee. We come here mid-morning, after lunch, sometimes mid-afternoon. They're usually open all day and they're always super, super busy.
When you walk in, you usually see a cashier near the entrance. Then there's this long counter for standing customers. Maybe there are a few high stools or standing tables, and occasionally also some seated tables.
First decision to make, are you going to stand at the counter or are you going to sit down? Let's start by sitting. If you decide to sit, a waiter will come, he or she will take your order, and he or she will bring it to you. Obviously, this has an extra charge, so you will be charged what is called servizio al tavolo. So in this case, your €1, €1.50 coffee might cost you €3. Obviously, it depends on the location and where you're sitting. So when in doubt, ask.
Option 2 is how most locals do it, standing at the counter. Un caffè, per favore.
You go to the cashier, you say what coffee you want, you pay, and then you take the receipt to the barista. Then you tell the barista what you want and just simply enjoy your coffee standing or at a high table with no extra cost.
Vale, but you didn't tell them what to order.
Well, I was getting there. In Italy, when you order un caffè, by default you get an espresso. It's short, it's strong, and it's served in a small cup like this. However, we do have, obviously, several variations.
If you want something a little bit more concentrated, a little bit stronger, ask for a ristretto. If you want something with a little bit more water, so a little bit lighter, ask for a caffè lungo. But if you want your double dose of caffeine kick, ask for a caffè doppio.
And can I say that I've never had a ristretto, and actually I had never seen how it was made. They just take it out first. So to my very first ristretto. Now here's something super important. When in Italy we want to play around with coffee, we use just one ingredient, which is milk. We don't do syrups and flavorings or none of that. So for us, pumpkin, spice, caramel, hazelnut, that's not what we do. We just use milk. Now, why is that? Because you see, Italians have a huge respect towards the ingredient. And so coffee, it goes a long way before it gets into your cup. And it's sort of a form of art. So why would you want to ruin that huge journey it went through by adding a different flavor? So milk is the only ingredient that we use to play around with our coffee. Just remember this very important rule when it comes in general to Italian food and wine and coffee: less is always more.
If you want that splash of milk, you can have it in two ways. Caffè macchiato. Macchiato means stained. Macchiato is the milk. So you can have the milk caldo, macchiato caldo, the milk is warm, or macchiato freddo, the milk is cold. This is a schiumato. Schiumato is my personal favorite. This is the foam. This is the foam. Schiuma is foam. So there's no milk added, it's just the foam.
Oh no, wait, there's actually another ingredient, and surprise, surprise, liquor. It's perfect for cold days, and we usually use grappa or sambuca. Just add a dash of liquor to your espresso and you get a caffè corretto.
And last but not least, this is caffè al vetro. Some Italians prefer to have their coffee in a little glass instead of in a porcelain cup. And you know what's really fascinating is to see the baristas making all these different varieties of coffee.
Can I say something that I love, though it's not on the topic of how Italians do it, how Valeria does it? When I have coffee, I think chocolate is the perfect combination. So how do you like this? A little dense chocolate as I enjoy my coffee. Benny, did we mention coffee to go?
No, because we don't do coffee to go. We like to have il caffè al bar, or seduti, or al
Sitting
balcone.
down at the counter. Yes.
Thank you for the translation.
Did you know that there's actually a way to drink coffee to fully enjoy the experience? There's a little Italian etiquette behind it.
Sometimes when you order your coffee, you get a little glass of water. Now this water is super important because you drink it before your coffee and it cleanses your palate to better appreciate the taste of what you're about to drink.
Even if you don't add sugar, this is something else that you should do. You get your spoon and you stir your coffee from the bottom up. Now why this? Because on the top you have this creamy layer, at the bottom you have a denser sort of consistency, and so you want the different layers to blend, so every sip is perfection.
And finally, there is no need to chug it down. I mean, it is a small little cup of coffee, but take a sip at the time. This should be finished in 3 or 4 sips. Savor it, enjoy it slowly.
Sorry, I just had something that I wanted to tell you. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, Local Aromas, do it now because we are working on so many little fun and informative videos about Italy that I know you do not want to miss. So subscribe now. Okay, continue watching.
Okay, I want to apologize because I will be ruining your coffee experience forever, as somebody ruined it for me, but in a good way. Let me explain. I once went to a barista and he just wanted to share the 2 crucial steps to have a perfect espresso, and now that has become my standard to whether I will be a return customer. So let me show you what these 2 simple steps are. Step 1 is that when the barista removes the handheld filter, usually they just bash it and that's it. And that's not the proper way to do it. So the first thing is that you need to bash it, but then you need to either clean it with a brush, or now they even have these little modern little machines that remove all the previous ground coffee from the filter. And second is that the barista then needs to purge the machine with hot water. So as the water comes out from the machine, all the residues of the previous coffees are removed, so your coffee won't taste like burnt coffee. These 2 very simple steps will totally change your coffee experience because you are paying for a fresh coffee, not a sucky one that tastes like burnt. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it.
And so we've talked about the varieties of coffees that you find throughout Italy. But as food and wine, every region has its local specialty.
In Trieste, you'll hear everybody order a capo in B, which is short for cappuccino in bicchiere. So basically, it's like a mini cappuccino in a glass, and they drink it all day long. By the way, we did a full extended video about coffee in Trieste because it is huge there.
In Lecce, we're in the south of Italy, they have a specialty called caffè leccese, and it's very popular during summer. Imagine espresso poured over ice cubes and then sweetened with almond milk. Doesn't that sound delicious?
If you head up north to Torino, you have to try the bicerine. It's this rich layered drink made with espresso, hot chocolate, and cream. It's served in a glass, so you see these beautiful layers. You don't stir it, you just enjoy one layer at a time.
Then we have Naples, where coffee is a religion in Naples, okay? And they have the iconic caffè napoletano. Now, they use a particular coffee bean called Robusta instead of what is most commonly used around Italy, which is Arabica. And this gives it that intense, velvety, powerful flavor that Neapolitans love so much.
So there's a whole ritual to it. So the coffee is boiling hot, served in a boiling hot cup, and you are supposed to drink a glass of cold water first, remember, to cleanse your palate.
But one of the most beautiful, beautiful coffee traditions in Naples, and it has absolutely nothing to do with how the coffee is made, is the caffè sospeso, right?
It's beautiful, and it literally translates to suspended coffee. Now, this is what happens. You go into a bar in Naples and you order your coffee, but you pay for 2. One for yourself and another one for somebody in need.
And so practically this coffee that you paid for stays on hold until somebody less fortunate comes and asks if there is a coffee for them. And obviously there is. So they get their hot, boiling hot, their boiling hot espresso, because, you know, nobody should be denied a cup of coffee, especially in Naples, which is like very, very
Huge
strong.
part of their culture.
Huge part of their culture.
And this tradition dates back to like World War II, and there's some bars do this, and probably the most famous one, because it's one of the most historic ones in Naples, is called Caffè Gambrinus.
Coffee in Italy is so much more than just caffeine. It's a social ritual because you go to a bar, there is interaction. You speak with your barista, you can go have coffee with a friend, you always end up chit-chatting with your neighbors, you unplug for 3-5 minutes. It's not something long, but it's super, super meaningful, and it just feels good to go have a coffee. You pay forward for other people, like the caffè sospeso. So there's so much more to coffee than just caffeine.
So next time you come to Italy, try giving up the way that you usually have coffee. Say maybe you usually have it on the go or spiced up or stuff like that. Give yourself the opportunity to experience the Italian way, embrace a different culture, and just do it like locals do.
So if you really, really, really want to bond with a local, invite them for coffee. And this is what you do. Ci prendiamo un caffè?
Molto volentieri, grazie. And then you head over to the bar and you now know exactly what you have to do.